but we'll have both.
We also need both because of people's belief systems and religion and so forth. In India, you have so many people that are vegetarians, so I knew we need to do that as well, for sure, as a first choice. But unfortunately, in Western societies and in China and places like that, they want the taste of the beef, or they want the chicken or the fish. And the idea of putting white meat, and white meat that is just as delicious as the finest in the world, because you're literally taking the stem cell, you're taking the exact fundamental DNA that creates that, and being able to do it in less time, with less space, with less money, and believe something that really tastes incredible. I think that's where the revolution happens on both sides, the vegetable side and the animal-based side.
This is not easy by any means, but if it were easy, we wouldn't be doing it. The goal is to make a dent in the cost curve, in the health curve, in the environmental curve that isn't linear. And what most people don't realize is the tools that we have to do this with are not standing still. We have this massive explosion going on right now in AI that's transforming everything. We've got quantum computing coming online, right? We saw IBM project a 1,000,000 qubit machine with 100-fold less error rate. And these sorts of technologies are going to allow us to model molecular systems and learn how to make it taste a little bit better, give it a little bit better texture. On top of that, we have, robotics for being able to handle materials. And ultimately, we have more and more entrepreneurs able to take a crack at this. So that's the exciting part. I don't know who's gonna win. Don't need to know. I just need to know what the finish line looks like and be able to say to somebody, you did it. Congratulations, here's the money.
Why don't you, for people listening, I know a lot of people have listened to others, but give them an example of one of the X Prizes that you've already done that you're just blown away by the result yourself and the team is. Just give people a sense of something that seemed impossible. You've done so many. What's one of the first one that pops up? I think it'd be great for context for everybody.
So back in 2010, there was an oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. It was the BP oil spill, right? And it's going on, it's going on, it's going on. They can't cap it. And we're just watching the coastlines of Texas, Louisiana, Florida being decimated. And I got a call from Jim Cameron. Jim, the film producer, is also a ocean explorer. And he goes, we've got to do an emergency X Prize here. So we said, we can't plug the oil spill, but what if we could clean up the oil on the ocean surface faster than it's guzzling to get it so it stops getting and destroying the fisheries and land. And so we went from announcing that competition to having 350 teams enter within 3 months. We then gave them another 3 months to build their prototype equipment and to ship it in a shipping container to the world's largest oil spill cleanup facility. And our mission was double the oil spill cleanup rate because it hadn't changed in 20 years. And it was amazing. We had teams that were like a father and son team, a team that was a tattoo artist. Literally, he was the designer and one of his customers, and they built a scale model in the guy's swimming pool and then tested it in the full scale here.
He was from Vegas, right? He wasn't even near the ocean, is my memory right?
Exactly. And the winning team that was Landlock, I forget, they were from Minnesota, I think, their winning technology was a 600%, six-fold increase on the oil spill cleanup. And so the day before something is truly a breakthrough, it's a crazy idea. And so we're out in the world shopping for crazy ideas, for people who don't know what's not possible, who come in and take a completely different approach to it. And yes, 99.9% may lose, but that 0.1% that makes it, it's a revolution and we all win.
Yeah, I agree. And it's not that far off because there's already technology doing it. We've shown we can drop it 90%, and it just needs the focus, the energy, like what these competitions do. There's lots of impossible burgers and things out there for those who are looking for something that has kind of flavor of beef. But, a lot of those have a variety of things in them. Some people argue whether they're nutritionally sound or not, or what else you're getting with it. We're really trying to find a way, if we can, to give people both that vegetable substitute and that animal protein substitute, but without all the negatives that come with any form of that, but also especially the negatives that come with red meat. And so having chicken and poultry is, I think, one of the critical aspects of what this can really add the most value in as well.
People don't stop to think about what is food, right? Food is the energy of the sun 93 million miles away, those photons coming down, hitting the earth a fraction of 1%, and then hitting a chloroplast in the plant, becoming a hydrocarbon, a carbohydrate, and then that chicken or that poultry, whatever, eating it, and then you're eating it. So you're transporting the energy from the sun into your body. And our mission is, how do you do it more efficiently?
in a way that's sustainable. Because I don't think, people look at the now. It's human beings are so myopic. It's just our nature. If things are going great right now, we think it's going to go great forever. If things are terrible, we think it's going to be terrible forever. And life is cyclical. But some things are predictable. And the most predictable thing right now is we know we can't sustain what we're doing to the planet. And a huge piece of this global warming is coming from the way in which we're dealing with it. Both the animals themselves, the methane that's coming out of them, but also the destruction of the rainforest. Again, I just want to remind people, if you're worried about that, your eating patterns play a role there. So not everybody's going to be willing in China to say, I'm going to be a vegan. So we got to have an option. It's like, I personally am, 80%, water content foods. And I was a vegan for, 13, 14 years. But not everybody's going to go that path. So I see people saying, well, we'll just make everybody vegan. It's like, great, let's come up with a vegetable substitute that's cheaper, better, all those things. We got a prize for that. But for those that aren't going to make it, we're not going to be able to force everyone to believe what we believe or behave this way. We need an option where it meets all their needs. The deliciousness, the ease, the access, the cost reduction. We can put those things together, and it's not we, us, it's going to be these incredible teams. So maybe you can walk through a little bit, just the high level of what we're doing at the prize. It's a $15 million prize, but I know we've gone back and forth. We just finally revised the final numbers. Do you want to share those?
Absolutely. So let me just take a second and give folks an overview of the rules.
And how they can participate, because if you may not personally know you can participate, but you may know someone who, if they hear about this prize, would like to. So we hope you'll share it with them.
Yeah, share this podcast with your friends, anybody on the planet. Remember, it's the tattoo artist in Las Vegas who comes up with this brilliant idea because he doesn't know what can't be done, right? It's like, I define the expert as a person who can tell you exactly how it can't happen.
That's awesome.
So here's the winning team statement. So the winning team will develop a new generation of alternative chicken breast and fish fillet that will allow humanity to feed the next billion economically and in an environmentally responsible way by meeting the following criteria. So first criteria is about taste, texture, and cookability. You said it right? If it doesn't taste good, no one's going to want to eat it, and we're going to be giving a second-tier product to the people who deserve the same as we do. So each team's going to deliver 25 servings. These are 4 ounces each of raw chicken and of the fish fillet. It's going to be going to a group of celebrity chefs who are going to be cooking it, and they're going to be cooking it against actual fish and chicken. And then there's going to be head-to-head blind taste testing competition. So you've got to do at least as good, hopefully better. The cost. So the whole reason we're doing this is to feed the next billion, so it's got to be more affordable. So at a minimum, we've said it's got to be 50% cheaper than the alternatives. And it's not going to be 50% if you're making one fillet, but we're saying if you're making 1 billion meals a year, which, will feed a fraction of the individuals, 1 billion meals a year, it's got to be at least 50% more affordable. And we're going to give points to those who get it down to 80% or 90%. Environmentally, listen, the environmental